through the midfield. Thomas, it's up for grabs now. Thomas, right at the end.
Hello, welcome to, this is the It's Up for Grabs Now Arsenal podcast. Alan Davis here, episode 4 of the Up for Grabs Now Arsenal podcast. With me, Ian Stone. Good evening, Ian.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Ian, Arsenal season ticket holder since 1904, I think.
That's my Nigerian age.
It's really quite a long time. You've seen all the greats.
Winter slag away.
Yeah. Who's your favourite player from that early period?
The early period? Our boy Bastin, when he was really young.
Yeah, so obvious. It's so obvious there. You've blown it. That's what anyone who wasn't actually alive then would say. So I think you're busted,
right.
And you haven't really been going since 1904. And Tayo, who's been going since, what, last Wednesday?
Hello, Alan. Yeah, I've been...
Yeah.
Do you know what?
How did the Eagles get on?
My first game was 1992. Actually, and it was Palace Arsenal. It was Palace Arsenal. I saw it at Selhurst Park, but I was in the Arsenal end.
And that's when we changed.
No, my first game was Villa. Villa in 92. Villa in 92.
What was your first game, Al?
What was your first game?
No, Stoke 1971. We lost. Let's
right.
get into that.
You think you've got credentials for saying that? Just because you're older than me, that's why you've been going.
We've had an email. You can email us at the Up for Grabs Now podcast. You can email us on I know there's too many bits of paper here today. Up for Grabs at playbackmedia.co.uk. We had an email that says from a bloke called Sid. It says Tayo reminds me of my own offspring. Can't take the heat. The lad is clearly not of an age which allows him to remember the Arsenal when they were truly crap. And I'm talking a mediocrity which makes Hillier look like Maradona. Oh. He also says, I think you're a trifle soft on the filth, by which I assume he means the police.
He might be talking about Tottenham.
Apart from Keith, of course. Keith Dover was on last week's show. Never let it be said that Keith is soft on the filth. Keith can't be here tonight. He tells me the reason he can't be here is that apparently Spurs, after winning 9-1 at the weekend, are having an open-top bus parade all around Haringey, and the traffic is a nightmare on the way in from Walthamstow.
It has been difficult.
He says they're having a civic reception, and they've had over 40 people have turned up. So that's quite good news for them, and their end-of-season video is out now. Yeah. And they've titled it "The Most Important Day in the History of the Premier League." Spurs v Wigan.
That's a big game.
November 2000.
It's a big game. They ran rings around Titus Bramble. Apparently, I haven't really seen the result.
The Wigan back four, 3 of them in the paper that I read got 1 out of 10.
Well, the other...
So,
and the other one...
how did you get 1? If you've let in 9, how are you scoring any points at all?
Well, they didn't...
Surely you get minus points for that, do you? Fail. You, unclassified. So I got from my O-levels.
What did the other one get, just out of interest?
He got 3. I think
one.
none of the goals must have come down his side.
Yeah, it was the bloke who was up against Aaron Lennon, wasn't it? They were in Edmund. He had a bit of a bad eye.
But they can't even enjoy that match without referring it back to us. You see what I mean? Every Spurs fan who's been on the phone to me today has been like, we won, you didn't. It's not a case of we won and we're going to enjoy it. It's just in relation to Arsenal. They can't actually view themselves without being in relation to Arsenal, which is fine. Just pat them on the head and say, enjoy your big day. I'm glad you beat Wigan 9-1 at home.
Pat Peter Crouch on the head. You'll have to get a stepladder.
No, that's fair enough.
He looks more and more like Jedward every day with that hair. him and Abby Clancy are Jedward, I think.
Well, they had a bad weekend, didn't they? They got knocked out.
They got knocked out. It's been a terrible weekend for Jedward.
Jedward as well,
A terrible weekend for the Irish all round. Now, listen, can I ask you about Thierry Henry, who I've noticed this week has been getting worse press than the guards at the Abu Ghraib jail in Baghdad, who did, if you remember, urinate on the prisoners.
It's worse than the Birmingham 6. It's a bigger injustice.
I did get into a couple of set twos with people on Twitter about this.
Someone tweeted me and said, "Proud to be a Gooner, Alan."
Oh,
now, for a start, I don't need to be reminded of my own name.
Yeah.
Thanks. And apart from anything else, I don't think Arsenal were playing that week. Well, I think we were just letting all our players play for other countries and getting their legs broken, doing absolutely nothing. What's it got to do with us?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but that's the way it happens, isn't it?
To be fair, we did all rise to the bait and actually sit there and defend Thierry. And I think he should be defended.
I didn't defend him.
I did.
And
I would again.
I didn't defend him at all. I used to love that man more than my own children.
And you don't now.
And he has let me down. I'm telling you.
It's a good day for your kids then, anyway.
They finally...
It's a good little turn up for the boys.
They moved up the pecking order, you know.
Why is Daddy holding my hand now? He hasn't touched me for 4 years. I've been sleeping on that Thierry Henry pillowcase.
Fools like Henry Winter, who I always think looks quite dapper. We sit near the press box and I see him looking quite dapper.
Henry Winter
has just been saying shame on
Henry Winter. Go on.
Shame on you, Thierry, and all this. You've ruined your legacy. No, you haven't. You cheated.
He said he should be banned from the World Cup.
I know.
Why should he be banned from the World Cup? You don't get banned from a tournament for a handball.
I always think he's like writing an essay when he's at half-time.
He goes, good, honest souls like Damien Duff and Robbie Keane will miss out. Honest souls. Have you seen the penalty against Georgia that Ireland
Exactly.
got? Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Where Robbie Keane catches the ball, puts it down by his
while
feet, while offside, doesn't fess up to the handball, obviously. Then the penalty is inexplicably given by a referee who's clearly been bought by someone. They were playing Georgia, probably the Russians. I think they were at war at the time. Yeah. And they were 1-0 down at the time, Ireland. They ended up winning that game 2-1 after Keane scored that penalty. No mention of it. No one says he should be banned from the World Cup for handballing during the qualifiers or that penalty. It seems unbelievable the amount of stick that Henry's getting. Seems bang out of order. However, it was completely cold-blooded cheating. All this stuff about it was a reflex, it was coming really quickly. No.
The first one was a reflex. The second one,
was a reflex.
That's crap.
You don't even think the first one.
If you're playing football, when the ball's bouncing towards your hand, your reflex is get your hand out the way. That's your reflex. Your reflex is to move your hand out the way.
Yeah,
it's a reflex.
I have never, by reflex. Now, admittedly, I've never played for France in a World Cup playoff.
You don't qualify, do you? Yeah.
I have never, by reflex, handled the ball.
Yeah.
Your instinct's to get your hand out of the way.
Listen,
it's cheating.
Can I just say, as the only one here with kids, it was a terrible example to set. And and no, seriously, I watch my kid play every Sunday, and they're pulling shirts and they're diving, they're doing that stuff because the professionals are doing it.
And if your kid did that, you'd applaud him afterwards.
I would not applaud him afterwards. I'm saying you cheated there, and you know you cheated there, and I would not be. I'd probably slap him. To be perfectly honest with you, I'd say he should be banned from the World Cup as well.
Well, Craig,
forever.
we got an email here from Craig Randall 87, which is either referring to Littlewood's Cup or more likely. That's when he was born. He says Thierry Henry is a saint, and I agree with him too because Thierry doesn't do any wrong, and
except for leaving his wife and girlfriend for another woman. Is that something else that he didn't do wrong either? I had
another tweet that all the Spurs fans came on Twitter. That scum. He's always been scum. Scum in the past, scum now, always will be scum. Leaves his kids, scum. I blocked that bloke.
You blocked that, mate. Was it in capitals as well? That one
kept on coming.
Might be my brother. I don't know.
Like I said on Twitter that Thierry might have cheated, but he did score. He might have cheated, but he did score that goal that left Carragher so flat on his arse. It's still hilarious when you see it. It's still hilarious when you see it.
That goal, I do like that goal in question. As
you pointed it out,
I read that in slow motion.
You emailed for days after that.
He sells 2 dummies to Carragher.
He does.
He sells 1 dummy by moving his body, which always makes defenders
Carnu Juju-like.
Yeah, and then he feigns a shot. So Carragher gets going one way, then the other way, then tries to go the other way again, does a pirouette on one foot, falls over.
Yeah.
Knocking another Liverpool defender over as he does it. Exactly. And then Henry completes his hat-trick.
Plus, that was also the game when we were losing. We were losing, weren't we, 2-1 at half-time. We'd lost to Man United and Chelsea. And then we were losing 2-1 at half-time. Yeah. And then Henry
went on and won the league without losing the game.
That's right.
And
it was a big goal. It was a big moment.
He didn't handball it.
He didn't handball it then.
He didn't handball it.
And he did also score at our place and run the length of the pitch past us, West Ham, and then slide on his knees, Thierry style, in front of the Tottenham fans.
He did do that as well.
He deserves. So how can you be rational? How can you have rational criticism about someone who's done those things?
What you're saying?
End of story. I'm not having it. Fingers in ears.
Thierry, put his foot down.
Fingers in ears. Thierry can do it.
Do you think that's?
I think it was watching the game though. If you were actually sitting there watching the game, the Irish are playing really well. They're deserving it. I support the Irish. I will support all the teams from the British Isles. I know they all want us to crash and burn.
Can I say Ireland aren't actually? Well, I mean, British Isles.
You know what you mean.
I know.
But when Ireland are playing,
because they like that sort of thing. Ireland,
I support them.
Of course, yeah.
I want them to win. I want them to be there.
Yeah.
And I wanted them to win. And I got loads of tweets from Arsenal fans trying to hate Ireland because Robbie Keane plays for them. I don't get that.
That's easily done.
I don't get that at all.
I can help. I can.
Liam Brady's on the touchline.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Liam Brady's their assistant coach. Now, anything Liam wants, I will personally organise for him.
You feel about Liam Brady as I feel about Thierry.
I feel better about Liam Brady than I do about myself.
Yeah.
You know how much I love myself. I would get anything.
Brady.
I cannot abide the thought of Brady being denied that. But they should replay the game. I said it at the time.
Should they
No,
replay the game?
Yes, they should.
No, they shouldn't.
Yes, they should.
What about video technology? Maybe that.
Wenger says they should replay the game.
Okay, they do.
You know, in the perfect world, what would Jesus do? That's one possible
What would
question.
Arsene
What
do?
would Arsene do? Is a much more reliable contemporary.
Want to get some wristbands? What would
Arsene do? Always say,
Did Arsene say replay the game?
Replay the game.
Yeah. Although he didn't see the incident, Arsene, apparently. So I heard. What about the video technology, though? I think the video technology, or not the FIFA
It's
delegates.
unbelievable to me that you can have a game with everyone in the world who's watching it, and it's huge viewing figures. It was a really exciting match, right? It was very, very tight. The Irish were tiring.
Ireland
the French were
won.
rubbish. And by the way, it was fantastic to see Lassana Diarra being completely crap in midfield.
Yeah.
Completely vindicated our decision to sell him, though not for enough money. But it was very, very tense. What was I saying?
You were saying it was tense. It was tense, and you were saying it was an
And
exciting
you were just
game.
getting a quick dig about Diarra, who you've never forgiven.
You took a little sidetrack and lost the point.
Doesn't take much, does it?
Totally. The wheels came off.
No, I wanted to ask about video technology. Cause
Yeah. How on earth can it be
That was it. That's what you were
the
talking
ref
about.
is the only person in the ground? If you just threw a paper plane on vaguely near him with a note saying handball, you want to have a look at this, and all this, they need someone in the stands who can watch the TV. No, they don't. They just need the ref to come over.
Well, they've done it before, didn't they? Sent Zidane off from. They never admitted it, but they sent Zidane off that time because they saw it in.
What about in Anfield
Well,
89?
there was
right?
a worldwide audience of about 8 billion as well. I think most people
Which is
saw
actually
it.
more people than there are on the planet. That's how important the game was.
That's a big game.
In Anfield 89, when Alan Smith scored the first goal, so a moment to remember that.
Lovely.
Yeah. The Liverpool players didn't like it. They panicked. They were terrified, right? And they gathered around the referee and they insisted he consult with the linesman. He went over to consult with the linesman. The linesman, what do you want? He goes, they're asking me to do it. Just stand here and nod while I chat to you. I don't know what they want. It's a goal, right?
Yeah.
But that took quite a long time. It added to the theatre, if anything. It made it more exciting and tense.
Also added to the extra time.
So
we'll have that as well.
It gave us the
That,
extra minute at the end of the game in which we won the league.
Yeah.
But
in which
time,
we
it can go over. You can just go over and look at a TV on the touchline. They've now banned it. You're not even allowed to have a television set by the touchline in any of the dugouts. That's how resistant they are to it.
I'm in total agreement with you. I have to say that the fact we call it video technology tells you how long the idea's been knocking about as well. Good Lord, we've been waiting for 20 years. And plus the fact most of the FIFA delegates don't know how to work a video in the first place. It's all about 95.
Betamax Gold 9 technology. We'll just rewind the tape here. This might take a minute.
It's outrageous. I'm sure the bar owners in Cape Town are a bit upset.
We could go back to Rooney diving in.
Rooney, you know what?
I don't think you can do it for dives or anything like that, but you can do it when the ball is dead, when the ball is in the back of the net, or when the ball's gone out of play and it's clearly a goal, like that one the other day, or not a goal, when the guy gave a goal and it wasn't. Do you remember that one? He went wide of the goal, went over the goal line, he said that's a goal and it wasn't a goal. Or when the ball's hit the stanchion and come out again. Or when the ball's gone over the line but they haven't seen it, like the one at Old Trafford when Roy Carroll pulled it out. Things like that is the game's dead. It's stopped anyway. Everyone who's watching on TV can say it wasn't a goal. How's he giving it? Someone's just got to run on with a note.
Shout from the
Tell the
sideline.
ref, say,
That's a
ref,
goal.
you might want to come and have a look at this.
So it doesn't make it
You can
Thierry's
take it on your iPod.
Yeah.
Ref, have a look at that.
Have a look at that. That's a goal.
Oh, it's a goal. Goal.
It doesn't make it
Then it's
Thierry's
yellow
fault.
card for Henri.
It doesn't
Play
make
on.
it Thierry's fault. So
Thierry?
What Thierry did wrong. The only thing I'd admit to Thierry doing slightly wrong was going over and doing his kind of St Francis of Assisi bit and like being really nice to.
Oh yeah,
To
he wanted
Richard Dunn.
Yeah,
to
that's
Richard
right.
Dunn. That
He
was a
wanted,
little bit patronising and a little bit
How did
embarrassing.
Richard Dunn not just knock him
Yeah,
out?
of course,
Nail
punch
him.
him. Well, that's what
Because you
Cantona
would,
said,
wouldn't
wasn't
it?
it?
Canada
If he just
Canada was
knocked him
right.
out,
Yeah.
that would be the most watched video on YouTube in the history of the world.
Yeah. He should
He
have just hit him.
absolutely chinned him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm really sorry I cheated you out going to the World Cup.
yeah.
I know you'll never get another chance. I
the
played
big
in a
story-
final. I was on the bench when we won it
And the
years
big
ago.
story,
I
did you
know
see-
how great it can be.
I'll send
You were
you a
never
postcard.
going, John. Shake my hand, make it look like I'm a nice fella.
The real story, if you want all the hype that went on afterwards, the real story is. And did you see that interview with Saint Leger afterwards? And he was just like, holding back the tears, just saying, I don't blame Thierry Henry. I just really wish I was going to the World Cup. There's
that's
a
the thing.
little lump in my throat.
What about
after
the thing that now, the moment that Thierry let
and then
me down,
they showed
right?
Robbie Keane, and then I remembered that it weren't so bad.
Keane handled the ball in the game, tried to get away with it, and it was a free kick. You can't get... Damien Duff admitted that if he'd been in that situation, he'd have done the same thing. Lots of players would have taken a chance.
Well...
You don't know it's going to come off.
Yeah,
you
but
think the ball's going out, I'll handball it, you're expecting a yellow card. Henri goes, well, I'm not the ref. Now, hang on a minute. I used to shoplift a lot, but there's never an excuse to say, well, I'm not the store detective, am I?
That's right. I'll wait for until I get away with it
Why did you
after
nick that
Robinson.
stuff from the shop? Yeah, well, it's not my job to stop the nicking, is it? they're not going to catch me.
I'm glad you're
just
here.
Gonna nick stuff.
Yeah, of course. No, absolutely. That's no defence at all that Henri's saying, well, it's the ref's
I thought
job.
that was out of order because the ref couldn't see that.
No, he couldn't. And
everyone lands on the referee. If the referee was able to go over and say, sorry, I'm stopping the game, it's going to take me 15 seconds, I'm just going to go over and look at the TV. The French players would go, no, don't look at that. You don't need to look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was fine. It's Henri. He's a saint. Thierry Henry. You know how great he is. One of the greatest players in the history of football.
How quick has everyone been to have a go at Thierry? I mean, people really want
the extent of it's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Well, there's a lot of press about it. There's a lot of people.
No, it's over the top. It's over the top because it's Thierry. People have wanted to have a go at him.
No.
Don't be so reasonable.
Is it over the top because he's French? Is that what it is? I mean, the Sun came out.
They did not deserve it.
He's French.
They did not deserve to go through.
I mean, the Sun were upset, and when the Sun come out on the side of the Irish, you know something massive has happened, right? I mean, let's face it. Jesus.
Yeah, well, I just think that... I don't know. If you watched the game, you felt like the Irish deserved it. People wanted the Irish to win. The French did not deserve it. And everybody knew that it was rigged because they drew the seeds. They had seeds and they got a tough draw. It's rigged that the French are at home second. And I was on Twitter saying there's going to be someone's in the referee's changing room now because the Irish were leading at half-time saying, let's not forget that conversation we had, and people are tweeting me going, having a laugh, saying, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
When Anelka dived over Shea Given to try and win a penalty. I thought, well, there's the first bit of cheating. I think that's it. There it goes. He's going to give that. He didn't give it.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, that's quite...
Lest we forget, during the game, Robbie Keane, the lead feet that he has, had that chance. He went around the keeper and he kicked it so hard. He was going for touch, wasn't he?
Well, that's what Roy Keane said. Hear Roy Keane talking about it and saying he just blamed the Irish team. He said they shouldn't miss their chance.
Yeah, he tried to blame Shea Given. He tried to blame everyone, basically, he ever had a row with in Ireland, which is everyone.
Pretty much everyone. Plus the bloke who had a mobile phone go off in the press conference. He starts on him as well. Oh, I see. You kept your mobile phone on.
He hates the Football Association of Ireland. He hates everyone.
Yeah.
He hates everyone. But it was a shame. It was a shame. No, there's no guarantee that anything would have happened. All they should do, if you ask me, no one is obviously, play extra time again. Just play the extra time again. Just reconvene. Don't care where. On the AstroTurf pitches at Market Road in Islington. Ireland v France. You got to play half an hour. Play extra time because it was 1-0 each way. It was absolutely level.
Yeah.
Play half an hour again.
But I'm not sure. I'm not sure that extra time is particularly fair in that situation because it means Ireland have to play an extra half hour in France. That's in that two-legged situation.
And they were knackered because they didn't touch the ball in the second half.
Yeah, there is that as well.
When Robbie Keane threw one-on-one, little poke in it.
One-on-one.
And then went round the goalkeeper and ran round a couple of photographers and carried on running all the way back to wherever he came from in Ireland. You idiot. Trapattoni nearly had
Did he score? Did he score yesterday for them?
Keane, no, he's on the bench.
He was on the bench after he was a bit emotionally overwrought.
He's had a terrible week.
Is that why Arshavin was on the bench then for us?
There was that as well, yeah. I think,
because he was knackered on the way up there on the
Some
bus.
serious brown envelopes full of cash have gone missing in Slovenia.
How did that happen?
If the Russians have gone out and away goals.
I was pleased. I've been to Slovenia. I was happy for them. I've got to be honest with you.
That's more away
happy for the country of Slovenia. I was. The Ljubljanis, I like them, frankly.
Is that some more credentials? Arsenal playing away? You went to Ljubljana?
No, I did a gig there. No, that was nothing to do with football at all. I just went and did a gig in a castle.
They've only got 2 million occupants, haven't they? Is that how you say it? Or is it inhabitants?
Occupants.
Occupying.
That's Israel. That's Israel. Yeah, but no, it's a big thing for Slovenia to beat Russia. I mean, Russia's got
142 million people in Russia. A lot of things have come up this week to do with the size of countries and the size of their opponents. France have got 80 million people or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Ireland have got 4.5 million. In Ireland,
how many people?
That's right.
680 million people.
Elsewhere.
And there's another bloke who said that Henri should be thrown out of the World Cup. Tony Cascarino.
He was very
Tony Cascarino,
who, by the way, has got 88 caps for Ireland, despite having nothing to do with Ireland whatsoever. He's not Irish in any way. It's denied some genuine Irish kid the chance to play for. 88 caps have gone smuggled out by him.
Smuggled.
Yeah, going, all right, lads.
Yeah, but they all sounded like that. You ever see the lineup in the World Cup when they were singing the Irish national anthem? They were just looking at each other.
Going, knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up, Mother Brown.
He's on my Arsenal hating hit list because he always goes. Yeah, most of the press are at the moment.
He hates Wenger.
Maybe I'll leave
you know
the list.
Why he hates Wenger?
Why?
He hates Wenger because he was at Marseille when Marseille were bent. Marseille were bent as hell,
Yeah, they
and
were.
Wenger was managing Monaco for years. He won one title, and he came at
Cheated out
second
of 4 of
place
them,
to
yeah.
Marseille 4 times.
Yeah.
And Marseille were bent. They were buying titles. They bought the European Cup. They were stripped of it. They were stripped of the French title when they were going to win 5 in a row, and that was for the record, and they got stripped of it. They only got 4 in a row. That's been broken since by Lyon. But they were absolutely bent. And Wenger never stopped saying it's financial doping, and Cascarino, for some reason, has got his Marseille hat on and hates Wenger for that reason. And I think that's seeped into his loathing of Thierry Henry now. How keeping Henry out of it? I mean, Henry Winter annoyed me enough, saying, can you imagine Henry's hands, the hands that cheated the Irish?
But he's always
on
been
the
like
World
that.
Cup?
He's always talked like that.
That's quite poetic.
Kind of, quite poetic if you're in the lower fourth.
You think he's the F. Scott
Yeah,
Fitzgerald when he's at Highbury. He's always typing away like that.
On his
I might have a
soul,
word with
like
him.
Robbie Keane, denied a place in the world.
We should set Keith Dover on him. Like next time we walk past, just go, you slag, because we've got all the press there sitting there. We should have you slag. That should
Yeah,
do
where
it.
we sit, listener, in the West Lower, we are dangerously close to the press
Everyone
box.
who
They can't hear
matters.
us.
the away manager, the away directors, and the press box.
That's right. We've got access to all of them, haven't we? It's
You
marvellous.
know, Henri, the only place he's left for him to work now is running the Abu Ghraib prison. That's the only place we could get worse press. And then they could stage a football match between the guards and the prisoners, like they did in Porridge. Henri plays for the guards, and then right at the end, he handles it and really breaks their hearts.
Yeah.
I can see a future for him doing that, and that's the only way he's going to resuscitate his lucrative move to the American Football League
He's
for the
gonna-
New York Red
Is he going-
Bulls.
is
or
he
wherever.
going
He's going to go. It's
He
any
wants to
place he
go
can
over
go. He
there.
wants to go and play for
I haven't
America.
shaved for a week and a half because of Henri. He's doing Gillette. I thought, I'm not shaving. Sod it.
Yeah, well, that's his only chance of resuscitating that move. That's where he wants to go. David Beckham lost on penalties, by the way.
Apparently
Did you
so.
see
Yeah, I
that?
heard that. Yeah.
Scored his penalty, though, which makes a change.
Yeah.
Speaking of penalties, were we ever going to get a penalty again?
Well, Vela was tripped, wasn't he?
That was a
He was
penalty.
tripped. That was a
But
penalty.
yeah, like you said, you know what? As soon as it happened, I thought Alan said it. I did.
never
I
gonna
thought
get
Alan-
last
penalty
couple of
again.
minutes. Last couple of minutes, we were never going to get it. They didn't even show the replay. I was watching it on. I was watching it on Star TV, I think, in Singapore, and
It was a pen.
screaming.
It was a
to
pen.
Show it again.
As soon as it happened, you thought, that's a pen.
Yeah.
And they didn't give it. And just compare and contrast that incident with Carlton Cole for West Ham against Arsenal, and Alex Song tapped him on the ankle, and he went down like he'd been shot in the ankle.
Yeah.
Now, all right, you could say it's a pen, he tackled him, he touched him, he's gone over, and all the rest of it. But it's nowhere near as bad as the moment when Fraser Campbell took Vela's leg away. We're never going to get another
We're
pen
never
again.
No, it doesn't look like
especially
it.
not
Doesn't
away
look
from.
like it.
Especially
Is it
not away
our
from
fault,
home.
was it Celtic's fault, was it Eduardo's fault?
Chiellini's fault for kicking Van Persie, because then we would have scored some goals beforehand, wouldn't we?
I'm worried about Eduardo's form. You know, I love Eduardo.
You do. You worship him.
At
And
the
he-
beginning of
it's
the
not-
season,
it
I was
didn't
saying
happen.
it's Cesc, Stuart Little, and Eduardo plus 8 others.
It's not working out that way.
It's not working out.
Stuart Little was on the bench.
Long
Eduardo.
season. Long season.
He needs
He's
some
got
games.
time. He needs some games.
He needs
and
some games.
He'll
He's
be
just
all right.
come back.
He's a quality player. I just think I don't know, maybe he's feeling a bit unloved or something.
Did we put out the smallest team in the league this
Well,
weekend?
it doesn't help that we lost Bentner and Diaby and Van Persie, and there are only, apart from the back four, and
Yeah.
there are only players that are over 6 foot that we
Yeah.
normally play. We lost all of them. We had this short
We did have a
lineup.
quite
We had an
short team.
absolute midget
Yeah,
lineup.
that's
Let's
true.
put it this way: half of our team could not have gone any of the rides at Alton Towers. They've got a new thing at Alton Towers. You have to compare yourself to
Yeah.
a cut out of our Shavin to see if you can get on any of the rides.
Taller than that, you're on.
So we had. You
Yeah.
were saying we had two shots on target and they had one.
2 shots on target we had in the entire game.
Sunderland have
and
done
they
well.
only had one. They only wanted one.
Yeah.
They
needed
started.
one.
They had the Don Howe philosophy. You start with a point. They started with a point. They'd have been happy to finish with a point. We had to break them down. They were not interested in playing, and they thought if we nick one from a corner, which has got every chance of doing against this midget
Against the
outfit,
team of 5'6".
then fair enough.
Ben got up above Vermaelen, didn't he?
Ben beat Vermaelen in the air, which is a bit annoying.
Fraser
Well, they
Campbell-
were lucky. They were lucky.
Fraser Campbell knew nothing about
He
that.
knew a
ball
little
coming
bit
off.
about it. To be fair, he tried to cushion it. He tried to do something.
He tried to
was
cushion it,
luck.
and he had a rubbish first touch, and it
was
came back
luck.
into
It
the
came
path.
off his knee and fell down the bin. But it's not luck when the ball bounces in the box and the only one moving is their boy.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
one
Ben
else
reacted
is moving.
quickly.
It
cost
Ben
us.
reacted quickly, and it cost us, But we didn't make any chances. So
2
do we
shots
just-
in the entire game.
Exactly, and that's
Zabisky
not-
should
that's
have
not good
scored.
enough.
It's not doom and gloom. It's not doom and gloom. We lost at Sunderland, so what?
No.
Last season we should have lost at Sunderland. Exactly the same thing almost.
No,
happened
last
again.
season we should have drawn and we did.
Was that the last minute?
We should have lost.
That was the last minute
We should have
equaliser.
lost and we drew. That's what I
We
mean.
drew. That was a perfectly fair result.
It was a late goal,
we
but
were,
you know
we were
kept
rubbish
going.
and we scored in the last couple of minutes, which is almost what happened this.
We'll put up the link. There's a link. You can get these better odds and a free £30 bet. It's on Twitter at Arsenal Podcast or our Facebook group, ArsenalUpForGrabs.com. Here's the odds, right? 1-0 17-2. It doesn't sound very good odds for the home team.
1-0 for us, 7-2.
No, yeah.
Well, 1-0 to Chelsea's only 9-1, so we are slight favourites, essentially, is what we're saying.
Here's the one I like, 3-1, 27-1. It doesn't give any odds for the likely result, which is Arsenal 1, Chelsea 4 from last season.
3-1. You're saying 27-1's good odds for we've got to score 3 times against a team that haven't let in a goal in about.
So what can I get?
But we are well, apparently we've scored more goals at this stage of the season than any team since Jesus.
So what can
I
get? So what can I get on Betfair for Ashley Cole getting a yellow card?
Is he going to play Ashley Cole?
I would have thought so.
Of course he's going to play Ashley Cole.
Do you want to boo him? I hate all this poison.
What? You don't want to boo Ashley Cole?
You hate all this poison.
I know.
Alan talking about.
Who are you? Have you been replaced by someone?
I can't.
Where's Alan?
Where's Alan gone?
I am obviously responsible for most of the poison once the game starts, but it doesn't bring me any pleasure to behave like that for 90 minutes.
But you do it anyway.
It's when I see him, obviously, I won't be able to control myself.
All right.
Do you know what? It's not the move. That wasn't the thing.
What
it was
is
the going to have a cup of tea with Mourinho in the hotel
I don't mind
while he was an
Mourinho.
Arsenal player under contract, an Arsenal player, not just going along.
It was the angling for the
Mourinho
move.
walked in, the whole thing. Mourinho was targeting players from his rival teams. It's part of his thing that he does. He's probably doing in Italy now, I don't know. And he targeted Steven Gerrard at Liverpool, and he targeted Ashley Cole. And the thing he did with Ferguson, this was his cleverest thing that he did, was he just buttered him up, kept telling him how lovely and brilliant and what a genius he was. And now he revered him and worshipped him, and he was the most important man in the world, when really, obviously, thought, I want to kill you.
I want to get you. Yeah.
And all your family.
Did you see his angling? Did you see his angling for the Liverpool job last week? He said, "I'm looking forward to coming back and working in England again."
I'll tell you what,
Which
it
is
might happen.
clearly-
It might happen.
Nah, you know where he's going?
Sow a seed
Manchester
now.
City, that's where he's going.
They drew again.
That's an
Manchester
interesting.
City.
Adebayor. They've had 10
that.
weeks out of Adebayor.
Adebayor.
And he stopped trying.
Adebayor. One of the funniest things I'd say. I wish I could put it on YouTube. It's Adebayor ambling over towards the Liverpool
He
defender
did handball, didn't he?
to close him down, right?
Yeah.
He's got over to close him down. As he's got nearer, he's slowing up. It's so familiar to us. He slows
True, I
down
was
as he
watching
gets there, and then just as he's about to get there, he stopped running.
Turns his back.
And looked at the guy. I can't remember who it was, Insua or Skirtle or one of these freaks.
Yeah.
that Benitez has bought that no one else wants. Looks at him, lets him play his pass, doesn't put any pressure on, doesn't try and put him off. They let him free at a corner and he scored with a header, right? Which he can do. We know he can do that, right?
Yeah, he can head the ball.
He got
He's
up and heads it in
6'10".
the goal. And then it's that, I've done my bit.
Yeah. And he was playing lone striker. He was playing lone striker as well. And you're thinking Adebayor on his own. I agree with you. I was watching that thinking
If any Man
he's
City
moving
fans-
slower than Pavlyuchenko.
If any Man City fans are listening to this, don't say we didn't warn you. That's why we sold him.
Cash in your chips now before it's too late. It was the funniest bit of closing down I've ever seen from him. And that's saying something. Now, what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Now, listen. I had this thing. I had a lot of tweets going back to Henri saying same old Arsenal always cheating. Now, I don't like to rise to it.
But you did.
But it gets on my nerves.
This is the time, does
That's
it?
called
Every
rising
time
to it.
I saw a game once, right, and we were playing away. I can't remember where. And there was a clash of heads. Not two Arsenal players. It was an Arsenal player and one of their players. Arsenal player came off well, and he was getting same old Arsenal always cheating after a clash of heads. It's same old Arsenal always cheating. You get the feeling that if they just trip over, if you fall down the stairs
can you tell me
in
this
full
then?
view of away fans, you'll get same old Arsenal always cheating. I dread going to a doctor who's a Blackburn Rovers fan and he was saying you got cancer. Same old Arsenal always cheating.
As two old timers, and does this date back to from before I was going? Then this whole
I don't know where it comes from.
No, it came from the Sheffield United game when Carnu didn't know what was going on.
No, it was long before
it
that.
Wasn't that. That was when it started. Carnu suddenly decides, I'm going to play, even though he's meant to give the ball back.
Now, this is the FA Cup time when we
That's
played
right.
Sheffield United,
When there
Steve
was a
Bruce was the
replay.
manager.
When there was a replay.
They kicked the ball out, then we had a throw, and we were supposed to throw it back to them on all this.
Yeah.
And
he crossed it for
didn't.
Overmars, and Overmars
Overmars scored because that's what he was like. Let's face it.
And Overmars didn't care
It was a
less.
thoroughly unpleasant
Why do
piece
I always
of work.
Why do I always end these podcasts defending the Nigerians?
Carnu didn't have a
Carnu
clue.
didn't realise what was going on.
He's 50 this week.
Always defending the Nigerians. Carnu
So
didn't know what was
Wenger
going on.
said,
That's when it started.
to take me back to the point where we started this podcast half an hour ago, Wenger said, we'll have a replay.
Yes.
And you know what Sheffield United fans said? Should be at our ground. He said,
that what I said? No.
You can have a replay, but
You're going
another
to
go.
replay this match,
Yeah.
not some other match. It's not happening. You can replay this match.
Yeah.
And in the replay, we were treated to one of the best goals that Dennis Bergkamp ever scored.
Yes.
First time volley on the turn from 15 yards over the keeper. Genius.
Yeah.
Moment for Dennis? All right, cool. So anyway, Standard the Age tomorrow. Are we all going? Am I going to see you there?
I'm going to go, yeah.
You're going to come,
I'm going to go, yeah.
Thanks very much.
I want to see... I've always wanted to see Standard Liège. That's the game I've been looking forward to.
We might get to see Jack Wilshere.
It's a bit of Arsenal trivia for you. Who's the only team that Eddie McGoldrick ever scored against?
That's a good one. I've no idea. No. Is it Crystal Palace? No.
He used to play. Is that Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
Standard Liège.
Was it Standard
You're so sacked, the pair of you.
And it's not sad at all that you know that.
Just like to say,
in any way.
Just like at the ground, whenever there's any remote piece of useless Arsenal trivia that one of us needs to know. Now, how is that useful?
Well, how are you going to use it?
I just used it then.
That's it, though.
You shoehorned it in.
Came up.
You shoehorned it in at the end of a podcast.
We beat them
just to 7-0
away.
We did. That's right. We beat Standard Liège 7-0 away.
I was there actually.
You were at that game? Away game?
Nah, not really. I was going to go, but it was on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I don't think it was on TV. Listen, this has been... it's up for grabs now. I've just got a bit of paper written in front of me. Henry Winter. And every time I see it, it makes me want to rip the paper up and eat it.
We'll see him tomorrow. I'll have a word with him tomorrow. Dare you to have a word with him tomorrow. I'm going to film it.
So I can't be bothered. I met him once, right? And I was talking about the Champions League and the World Cup and comparing the two. I said the Champions League's better standard of football, if you ask me. You get these all-star globetrotter teams made up from people from all different countries. And the World Cup, let's face it, apart from the big 4 or 5 sides, the games are rubbish.
Yeah, it's a lot of good rubbish.
And he goes to me, you've been listening to Wenger too much. And then walked away.
Walks away, turned on his heel, on his like kind of immaculate brogued shoe.
As if I could not have an opinion. I've got an opinion.
He makes you feel small. Yeah. We'll do it. We'll do him tomorrow when he's going in the box.
We'll do him tomorrow. Email us up for grabs at playbackmedia.co.uk. Trips off the tongue. We're on Twitter, twitter.com, and we are. It's at Arsenal Podcast. It is still that, isn't it?
It is at Arsenal Podcast.
And a little mention for footballfilter.com, which I think might be the best football website for your news available. I think we're going to wrap it up, lads.
Been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. See you at Standard Liège tomorrow. See you at Chelsea on Sunday.
Here's a little thought for Eddie McGoldrick. Good night.